If I were to start an Etsy shop all over again, this is exactly what I would do. Do not open up an Etsy shop until you've done these 5 things that I will explain to you guys in this video that I would be hyper focused on if I were to open up my Etsy shop right now. Hi guys, my name is Vlad. If you're new to this channel, I'm a top seller who shares all the secrets. I share with you guys my actual shop right here that I actually make, and I actually sew and print the fabric, and I do the product here in the shop. I'm actually doing the Etsy thing. So if you guys also want to do the Etsy thing and make money, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification, because some videos are time sensitive that you don't want to watch a year from now. You don't want YouTube to recommend a year from now for a video that you could have benefited from last year. So these 5 steps are before you actually opening up an Etsy shop. And I think they're the most vital steps that you need to take. So the first one is, what specific problem are you going to solve? Specific problem is not like, hey, I want to do wedding products. No, you got to ask yourself, what specific problem do brides have or bridesmaids have? And then you want to build your store around that, because if a bride comes to your store and you're solving her exact problem and you're surrounding her and you understand what she actually needs, your conversion rate is going to be a lot better. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do everything wedding, what if you just focused on bridesmaids gifts? Specifically, hey, bride needs to give her bridesmaids something. And if you're building a store that has a box and has all these little candles, all these little personalized knickknacks, and you're creating that atmosphere to solve that exact problem, you're going to do a lot better than if you're starting doing wedding decor and wedding gifts. Hyper focusing on one product will really create that communication between you and the buyer, but it will also signal to other buyers that have the same problem, because now you're focusing on the problem, and the algorithm will start to help other customers, because at the end of the day, that's what the algorithm wants to do. It wants to help the buyers. And number 2 is, I would be hyper focused on that customer that I'm serving. So for example, if I am doing bridesmaids gifts, what's the customer? Is it the bride, or is it the mother of the bride? What age is the bride? What are her favorite colors and textures? When we talk about understanding the algorithm, at the end of the day, we're trying to understand the people, because the algorithm helps the people. It wants to become more like the people. So instead of thinking, how can I crack the algorithm? Try to understand the people, and the algorithm will then help you with that, because that's what it wants to do at the same time. So hyper focusing on understanding people is going to be a big priority. I overstress this when you guys check out admirers. I overstress this when you guys click on your competitors' photos that they have in their reviews. These are the things that you really need to stress about, because you need to understand your customer, not your preferences. Because you might have like, hey, I love blush, or I'm totally in that niche. But have you looked at your customer? Have you really understood your customer and what they really want? I've been a graphic designer before I did Etsy, in parallel when I did a physical therapist. And a lot of times I would give them 5 variations of a logo or a brand palette or color palette. And it's oftentimes my least favorite that is selected from all the designs. So you come to a point you just really don't know what will work better, because you don't know your customer all that well, or at least you think you might, but you need to spend hyper focus on who is your customer. And so number 3, this is something I actually did when I opened my shop. This is actually really what helped me to really propel myself forward. Being unique is going to be your entry point. That really is the only entry point that will allow you to get traction or traffic sooner. If you're going to be like everybody else, it's going to take you longer, and you would need to be more beneficial to the market in like price or processing time. Being unique is going to be your entry point. What is selling out there? So you need to establish this is what's really selling out there. 2, you need to determine what are the factors that made those things successful to make sure that you include them in your listing. And 3, part of that is you need to provide a unique value. So one of the things I found this Christmas time that a lot of people were doing is they're sublimating, ornaments, and everybody's sublimating ornaments or laser engraving ornaments. That's a very common thing, because you can do print on demand version of those ornaments. But one of the people that I found they do is clamshell ornaments with a napkin design inside the clamshell, and that was a unique product. And I've seen people that also did well when they started putting a custom map inside the clamshell, which was really cool. And those are the kind of things that will give you an edge and start propel you into that hockey stick growth of that listing. So understanding what product is going to be your entry point in terms of uniqueness that's really going to be what shimmies you through the crowded market. And that obviously stems from doing 1 and 2. It's about understanding the market, and then you bringing that uniqueness to the market, because you can see that that's something that doesn't exist. Now, I'm not saying that you need to invent a new product. No, you need to use the keywords that customers are looking for. You need to understand what customers are putting into the keyword or into the search, and then use third-party softwares like eRank, Mermalead, or Etsy itself. I'm not saying that those are not good things. When you're doing product research, those are actually where the power of those tools come in. But understanding the unique attributes of that product once you've already indexed yourself in those proper keywords is going to be very important. All right, number 4, and this is going to be part of that. This is not, all these are not chronological. I think first 1, 2 were kind of chronological, and 3 is already getting into the product research. Number 4 is part of that product research, is find the newer shops. So I would really find all the new shops that are doing well, that have traction, all the shops that within a year or less, that, or 12 months or less, that have been open. What products are taking off for them? And that's going to be a good indicator of something that A, is doing really well in terms of trend, and 2, that don't have that much friction in the market, that these new shops were able to break through. That might give me an idea of what I can sell to provide the better value to my customer with the unique attributes. That would be my game plan in terms of product research. The last step, and this is probably when you've already posted your listing, is provide all the benefits. Now, you are a new shop. If I'm a new shop, I have I have the time to do the order. So processing time should be the shortest possible. And that's what I did when I opened my shop. I wanted to stand outside a little. I wanted to provide more benefit to the customers that would click on me, because conversion rate is really what's going to propel you to grow higher. Now, obviously, price at this point would be hard to beat, because if you're just starting, you really want to make some money. It's going to be hard for you to bring your price down. So I would just price it at mid-range. And then when I do make any orders, I would make all the effort to put in little cards, little notes saying thank you, connecting with my customers as much as I could, and for just have them to be pleasantly surprised when they receive the product. Obviously, making the product extremely good so that the quality is so good that there's a higher chance that they will leave a review. You want to increase that chance of them leaving reviews, and the more reviews they can give you, that's going to give you more data for the algorithm to say, hey, this shop is converting well because the price is good, it's communicating to the customers really good, and people are the click-through rate is high because you're providing uniqueness to the value, and then you're having reviews that come in at a much higher rate because you're connecting to the customer. That's a great formula for you to be able to really push through the crowded market. So if you like that, if you have not yet checked out my 50 tips video, check it out right here. If you already have and you want to watch a video on advertising, you got to check out this video, because advertising is another step that I would do, and I think advertisements is highly underrated and highly misunderstood. So check it out, and I'll see you guys there.